Well, you know how they say the early bird gets the worm, Tony?
Yeah, we missed it.
I'm late. We missed the worm,
We missed
and I'm
the.
hungry.
We're gonna be
Darn
hungry.
it. Shoot.
We're a couple minutes late. That's all right.
Right.
That's all right.
Hey, welcome to Relics Radio. Another Thursday night with Tony and Ken on Relics Radio every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Catch us live. Catch us in the chat group down here in this comment section, or catch us on the replay. Boy, I tell you what, podcasts are cool because you can listen to them anytime you want, anytime you need. Want to hear a couple of yahoos talking about metal detecting, treasure hunting, relic hunting. You can just dial up the show. We got 6 years, our sixth season. We got 6 years of show to go back and look at. I mean, you can just search back, find somebody you might want to listen to. Oh, I wonder what that person had to offer, and listen to the show, put it on in the background, maybe on a road trip. I do that all the time. When's the last time you did that?
On the way home from work about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Every day I listen to about 3 different podcasts every single day. And we've got quite a few people out there that listen to this on replay for downloading and things like that, which is amazing. We love it. Love the support.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the numbers. It gives me kind of, when you look at the stats for a podcast, it'll tell you, at least on Spreaker, it tells you how many live listens you get, every night or per show or whatever, and then it gives you a total number of downloads, in the coming weeks and stuff. So we have them both. We have people listen live, and if you're listening to us right now, we're live, and welcome you to the show, and glad you're here to support us in the show. It's been on for so long, and Tony and I love doing it, keeping the show going for sure. But
well, you brought up listening live. Later on, we're going to have some information about the importance of listening live. So I wanted to get that out there early in the podcast before people jump off. But yeah, we'll get you some info that you're going to want to check in with, and you're going to need to be live for it. So
yeah,
coming up here shortly.
Absolutely. Looking in the chat, seeing a couple Bills join us there.
Yeah,
we got
2 Bills. Mike
coming
Eady.
in.
Yeah,
Mike Eady coming in. How you doing, Mike? So rain.
Oh my
gosh. We always talk about
gosh.
weather. We always talk about, so people probably don't realize, but we always talk about weather. We always talk about chickens and other stuff going on in our life. That's usually how we start the show, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff we had to talk about. But how's your week been, man? Mine's been filled with rain.
It's been absolutely insane. The amount of rain that's come down south here. It is. I think. I mean, this morning was nice. Like that's what I can say. But it rained this afternoon. It downpoured this afternoon.
Yeah.
How about
yesterday
you?
Yesterday evening wasn't too bad. Before that, I mean, I think we started to get my yard in shape. So mowed the lawn last weekend, and then we went out and we bought all these vegetables to put into our garden to get our garden going. And all this soil and everything to kind of refresh the soil. And they're all sitting still on our back porch table because we got a torrential downpour, and it's just been raining ever since, and kind of got cold. And yeah, man, my grass is now probably about 8 inches tall just in about a week. We need the water, so it's welcome.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of weather, I'm not even sure that I've spoken with you about this, but last Wednesday, so 8 days ago, we had so much rain down here, and I'm out feeding the chickens, and my phone goes off with the weather alert that says what did they call it? A circular weather condition, meaning a tornado. I mean, you could just say tornado, has been spotted in your area. Head for the low grounds, get in the basement, away from windows, blah blah blah. I'm out feeding the chickens, and I'm like, oh crap! So ran through, got them all fed, and I'm like, hey, you guys are on your own. There's nothing much I can do for you.
We're all looking at you all sad, like, aren't you gonna take us with you?
Grabbed my dog. I jumped in. I was driving my wife's car that day because she went on a trip, and so I never drive my wife's car. She's gone for half a week. I'm racing home, and I'm heading north, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get out north ahead of this storm, and I'll be fine. I hit north, and then I head west, and all of a sudden, the sky just starts to open up with hail like crazy.
Big hail?
Yeah, well,
Oh my gosh.
huge
Colorado
hail.
gets huge hail. Colorado
Huge
gets some big
hail
hail.
to the point that it shattered my windshield in about
Oh.
30 different spots.
Oh.
Destroyed the hood, destroyed the top of it.
Oh,
it
you're in
just
trouble.
Oh, well, I know, that's what I mean. It couldn't have been my junker that I drive, right?
Oh
I mean,
no.
the vehicle that I drive, right? We
You're
could
right.
have, it actually probably would have been an upgrade if I
You
got
added to the
right? So we get the email this morning. It's totaled from the insurance company. It's totaled. So that's it. That car's done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So just speaking of weather.
And your wife was out of town. What'd she say when she came back? Are you able to say on this family-friendly program?
No, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ohio Relic Hunter. I lost my F-150 last May due to hail. Yep, we lost this vehicle as well. So we're trying to figure out what to do with that. But yeah, I hadn't even talked with you about that. You should. I think I'll send you. Did I send you a picture of the windshield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
Absolutely
that's
crazy.
yeah. We got the news today.
Mm.
So I got that forward to look forward to, about trying to figure out what to do with a vehicle now. So
Oh man.
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we get some big hail here.
Oh my gosh.
Like crazy. Not too often, but yeah. I've been lucky. We haven't had too much hail up north here. Normally up north where I'm at, we usually get the weather. It's funny. It's like a circular windy thingy. Is that how they put it out on your phone?
I was like, I'm not a meteorologist, but I think I know what a tornado is, right? Come on, guys.
Right. Come on, guys.
Hey, I just saw.
When there's. Oh, go ahead.
I just saw Tim Ildigger popped into the chat. Hey, Tim, welcome on, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, what's up, Tim? When we're not going to have hail in Colorado?
When?
In July.
What's in July?
Well, on the 7th through the 9th, we're going to be hosting an open metal detecting event called Rush to the Rockies. Rush to the Rockies 2023, what are we calling it? The Stampede this year.
The Stampede.
That's right. I think it's our 24th or 25th annual metal detecting open national event. 2 days, 5 hunts, actually a third day in there for a meet and greet, but basically 2 days, 5 hunts. And you can find out all the information over on eurekathc.org. That's eurekatreasurehuntersclub.org. Or you just search for a Rush to the Rockies anywhere on Google. It'll bring you right over there. Or Eureka Treasure Hunters Club. It'll take you right over there. But yeah, had a great time last year, telling you what, and looking forward to everyone coming back out this year. It's funny, I met a couple people at last year's event, and I'm still talking to them.
Yeah.
Through this year, we became friends, and we've been chatting. As a matter of fact, we're going to have one on as a guest here, hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Sweet.
Somebody we talked to that recently found a pretty cool discovery. But yeah, it's so cool how you meet people at these events, whether it's Dig Stock or it's, the Florida 8 or any of the Florida hunts, and then, our hunt here in Colorado. You can just, become friends with people and you stay in contact, and, why not? You guys like-minded, interests and stuff. So
yeah. Yeah. Great event. I can't wait for it this year.
Yeah.
July
Tony
7th
threw the
through
link
the
in the
9th.
chat. Yeah. So just look down in the comment section if you're tuning in later. And we'll put the links up into the description a little bit later. I was running late tonight. I got held up at work and was racing home, so I didn't have a chance to plug in the description and all that stuff, all the links like I normally do. But we'll fill that in later. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear what's going on next week?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Did they hear what's going on next week?
And, I don't think our listeners have heard what's going on next week.
Well, next week on Relics Radio, we're going to have a couple incredible guys are going to be on, as well as hopefully some callers. But we've got an incredible announcement that we're going to actually have 4 giveaways of some historical, should we say?
Yeah.
Finds
Yeah.
On Relics Radio podcast right here. Now, you are going to have to be present on the live show in order to win. It's not going to be after the fact kind of thing. And you're going to just be present to win. Pay attention to the interviews that we have going on. And then you have an opportunity to win some. We saw the pictures, right?
Oh my
You saw
gosh,
those
they're
last
amazing.
night?
It's so amazing. If you like relics and you like extremely old relics, like you like to hold a piece of history in your hand that you don't have the opportunity to hold here in the United States, I'll tell you what, you're going to be wanting to join us next Thursday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Relics Radio, because we have some great guests. Man, we're just talking to them the other night, and we could have talked for hours and hours. And boy, I tell you what, we're really excited. So start paying attention to the Facebook group too, because we're going to start advertising that show come probably Monday, maybe even this weekend if I can put it together. But yeah, tell your friends, man, if they're interested in really old relics and getting those as a giveaway and holding those in your hand and adding them to your collection, your display cabinets. And then you can always tell the story. I won this on Relics Radio. And this came from this place and it's this old, and you guys are going to be excited. I know I'm excited. I want to win.
I do too.
Trying to figure out. I might tell my wife to call in and or to pay attention to the show and stuff.
Yeah. But hey, we've never said that family members of employees of the show are not eligible. We didn't make that announcement.
We didn't.
So
nope.
That works.
But you're right, though. People are going to have to actually listen to the show all the way through the show, because there's going to be things you're going to be listening for in the show. So
little Easter eggs, little information.
Yep.
Just giving away some hints here as to how you can be able to win.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, Tim says, sound epic. Can't wait. You know what, dude? It is epic, and you're going to want to be part of that. You definitely should tune in next week. I think you'll really enjoy the people we have on the talk. So
did you I'm laughing at did you see what Bill wrote? Ohio Relic. He says Loy. Super old relics. It's about time y'all brought Loy back.
Hey Loy, if you happen to be listening, it's not Loy. We're not bringing him back. And then
that's funny.
He's doing great. Yeah, I saw he's been doing some other podcasts on his church channel and stuff. Some great Bible study stuff. So I'm glad he's enjoying himself with that and spending time with family. We wish him a ton of luck for sure. But maybe someday we'll bring him back. We'll see. What else is going on, man? Like I've been dealing with work. I've been dealing with, I haven't gotten out, because of the rain. I just haven't had a chance to get out since the last time we went out. And I'm dying to get back to that bottle dump. We discovered that bottle dump.
I was getting the studio set up here. I threw those bottles in my case right behind me here.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it 25 minutes ago, thinking, we're got to get back out. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Of bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of bottles, so I'm in construction. I don't know how many of you know that, but I'm in construction, project manager. I build large commercial projects, but so I'm running a job down in Denver, and I went by, and the construction trailer is actually a house, and it's right next to this site, and it's an old part of Denver where I'm like, I wish I could have got in there when they were digging dirt, but I wasn't hired at that point. I wasn't part of the project. So, but they're in this old house right next door to the property. Building's going up. We're already topped out with concrete 4 stories up, but I'm walking through the office, and the project manager, I look at his computer monitor on his desk, and in front of his computer monitor, he's got a little blue cobalt bottle. He's got an amber bottle, and he's got 2 square clear bottles, old. And I'm like, hey man, cool. Do you collect bottles? And he goes, no, man, shoot. He's like, when we were clearing the thing over here, we found a bunch of bottles over there, just a ton of them over there by this old shack that used to be over there that we cleared. And I go, oh my gosh, you're kidding. He's like, no, we got a whole box of them back here. So he goes, you want some? And I'm like, yeah, man, some of these things are highly collectible, and I really love bottles, and we go looking for them. And so he ended up giving me this huge box. He just gave me all of them that they had. And he's like, here you go. And I haven't done any research on it. Some of them are embossed with some names and stuff. They don't look too old, maybe the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, but still, just I especially with embossing, right? Yeah. Talk about going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Then you start, if it's the actual drug store, then you
Yeah.
start going down that. How long was it open? Who owned it? Is it still there? I mean,
Right.
yeah,
It was funny. They're like, well, what kind of bottles are worth money? And I was like,
of course,
and I don't know bottles that well. I
no,
just think they're cool for the cool
yeah,
factor. But I said, I think sometimes poison bottles are very collectible, and those can be, worth a little bit of money if you get some nice poison bottles and stuff. And oh my God, then all of a sudden they're just like looking at this French writing on this one thing. I think that's French for poisoning. And it's like, no. And then this one had like has a bunch of black substance inside of it that's like coating the inside of the glass. We're like, I think that's poison. It's black. I no.
Here, taste it and tell me.
Yeah, right. Here you go. Scrape some of this stuff out. So just funny that, I'm into this weird, unique hobby that, my wife thinks I'm a nerd and geek out over all the time. And then here these young guys in this
Right.
trailer were like, "Here, man." He even gave me all the bottles by his monitor. He's like, the Cobalt one. He's like, "Here, take that." And there was a few other of those in the box. So, I haven't even had time to go pull those bottles out and do the research on them. They're still in the back. I thought about it today when I was at lunch, and then I got sidetracked with work stuff. But
That's so cool. I'd love doing the research and really for anything. If you've got bottles, if you've got relics, I mean, I found quite a few compact lids. Just going down that rabbit hole of figuring out compact lids. Some of those companies back in the 20s and 30s, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing stories and just information. Things that, again, it's like things that you don't know about off the top of your head. But now you can say, oh, I've seen one of those before. It's got the T and the B, inscription on it. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what's on there. Just something like that. That's just a great time.
Yeah. Yep. And I'd love to learn more about it. I mean, like we discovered that bottle dump. You wonder what's there. Like, man, there could just be a gold mine there of just some cool old bottles, man, just waiting, sitting under the dirt. I mean, Jeff Lubert pulls up 3, right?
3 unbroken ones, like nothing.
Yeah. Tell that story real quick, because if people weren't listening last time.
Well, we were out digging with Jeff Lubert, the 3 of us, and 2 sites that I have current permissions on, active permissions that we can just stop by. And it really just wasn't. I mean, we got Jeff out there, and the 3 of us are using 3 brand new machines. Never have been out on these properties before, and I was thinking, hey, we'll see what we can pull out. Jeff did pretty well. He's pretty good with that Deus, I tell you what. But we were we were just kind of coming to the end, and I said, hey, I've got 5 other maps I've printed out here of potential locations. I'm gonna go see if I get some permissions on it, and I'll let you guys know. So I drove about 7 minutes away, and I ended up getting a permission on it used to be a 4-way stop, and now it's just a right-hand turn. The 2 other roads are no longer there, but got permission over there, and we don't know if it's an old homestead, if it was an outbuilding. It's just on an old map, and we're out there just kind of metal detecting. My first target was an old pocket knife running underneath a tree, so I started thinking positive things for sure. There's definitely activity, human activity in the area, and but overall, really, we didn't find very much. We did find, maybe some possibly iron stuff to maybe horse tack or barn type of things, but really nothing that would really tell us it was really a homestead. And kind of just making sure we touch everything. Jeff Luber said, hey, I'm going to head down to the little creek bed, the wash that kind of runs behind where we thought the site was, and he's down there and with his detector, and he's gets about halfway through the wash, and we're up at you and I are up at the top. Called down to him, hey, have you got any targets down there? And he's like, no, it's completely silent. I'm just going to come up. You start to pull him up using his shovel, and he gets to a spot, and he kind of takes a rest, and we're just talking, right there. And then he goes to put his shovel in to give himself a boost to come further up the hill, and you hear dink. I was like, well, that doesn't sound like just soil. And he just kind of moves some soil away, reaches down and pulls out a bottle right there on the side. I mean, he could have come up 2 feet to the left, 2 feet to the right. Who knows? May not even touched anything, right? But that exact spot. And he pulls up a bottle. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And then he starts moving around, finds another bottle. Now, 2 complete bottles. First 2, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so
Just
he's like,
unheard of.
yeah. Yeah, and so it starts moving some more dirt, finds a third one. We're like, this has got to be something right here. And the fourth one, we kind of ran out of luck. It was broken. But hey, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And we're going to head back there and with some, what do you call those things? The three-prong...
The claw.
Yeah, the claw shovels.
Shovels or whatever.
Yeah, claw pick. I don't even know what they're called. But
right.
move some dirt around and...
Garden claw.
There you go.
I don't know. Right, but there's got to be so much more there.
There has to be. And I mean,
it couldn't just happen to be 3 bottles sitting on top of the ground, just an inch under the dirt,
right?
The loose soil, just waiting for 100 years to come for us to come by and grab it.
And most bottle dumps, right? They're gonna when people were throwing stuff in there, they're throwing it from high up. They're breaking them as they've come down. They hit whatever down there they break. We got 3 complete ones right near the peak of the side of this ravine, I guess. And man, I'm hopeful. You find a new spot, you're always hopeful, right? That's what keeps us moving and going.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, real quick, I just want to send a special shout out. I don't know if he listens or not, but definitely a big shout out and congratulations to somebody in the community, Mr. Mark Tomensky from Kelly Co. Is now the new VP of Sales and Marketing with Nocta Detection Technologies. He's the new VP of Sales and Marketing for North America. So Mark Tomensky, congratulations. I reached out to him, sent him a message, and just told him, hey, congratulations, because him and I had worked together with Kelly Co. But great hire for Nocta to bring a real quality person on board for this North America area. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what his role is going to be and how involved he gets. And hopefully maybe we'll have him on. It'd be great to have Mark on as the new VP of Sales and Marketing for North America, and give him a little platform to talk about his plans for North America and what that means. Pretty exciting because so far it's been Delic, right? Delic's been
she's
handling everything out of Turkey, and
amazing lady, huh?
Just so much travel going on. I'm sure she is welcoming the help for sure.
I think she likes coming over here, but some extra help isn't going to be turned down. She's just run ragged.
Right.
Congrats, Mark. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, so we were talking about. I mean, I love metal detecting finds that lead into stories and lead into research. Like we've talked about that numerous times, and we've talked to a lot of our guests about that, and a lot of them are the same way. So, did you see the newsletter for our club, May's newsletter?
I don't think so.
There's an article in there that I had no idea was going to be published. So, I don't know, a few months ago, maybe 4 or 5 months ago now, Kari in our club, she was out detecting. She's one of our members, and she was out detecting. She found this token, merchant token, and this is from Kansas, Olathe, Kansas, and it gave the name of the guy and the name of his business, and it was just really cool. Like, we all love tokens, right? Just absolutely love these merchant tokens because of that, because it's got names on it and stuff, and you can go research it. So anytime I told her, I said, would you mind if I helped you do some research on it? It wouldn't be cool if we found a remaining living relative to give that away to, or to offer that to, if you wanted. And she goes, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate any help. So anybody that knows me knows that that's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, I think I've told the story before. I used to watch quarter hoarder videos, and I would see him find something. He said he wouldn't know what it was, and I'd start doing research while I'm watching the video and contact him and be like, hey, man, I found out what that thing is, and of course he'd already figured it out. But I just love it. I love doing genealogy research, especially with somebody's name on it and stuff. And what you do is when you do that, you get to like know this person that you've never met before. Like the name that was on that token, like I know so much about his family just from doing genealogy research and reading through newspaper articles and all stuff. Like his mother died in a very tragic way. Like, I got in on that information. Like it was very, very gory and just terrible way to go. And read about that and his brothers and the successes and failures of the different shops and different stuff. And it was just really cool to get to know that guy through the research, all because Gary found this token. Yeah.
I threw the link to the newsletter
Oh, okay.
in the chat there. So if you guys want to read more about the details of it,
Yeah.
you can click on that link and head over there and read that.
Yeah. So I was just doing this for Carrie, privately and stuff. And I sent her an email, like a long email with all this information I found out about this guy. And I actually found his granddaughter, this guy's granddaughter that's still alive in Florida, and gave her a way of reaching out to her, which she did. And the granddaughter had a token of his, but it was a different type, had a different name on it, different, actually of his brother. She had a token of his brother's, but none of his actually, that she had in the collection, in the family collection. So she was ecstatic to hear that somebody had found one actually with his name on it. And she ended up sending Carrie pictures of this guy that she still had, her grandfather, which was so cool, And she ended up taking that email and like throwing it up in an article, the email that I sent her with all the research. So she kind of wrote an article on it and sent it up, and they put it in the newsletter. And I thought that was kind of cool, but it was just the raw data, of doing the research on this guy. And it was really cool that she, felt moved enough to do that. And then she posted the pictures of the guy in there and stuff. So it really brought it full circle. I think she did send the token to the granddaughters. And God, anytime you can do that, man, it almost gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because there's nothing better than that, man. Like, the returning rings is amazing, right? It's always a great feeling. And, finding something that's got a story you can tie to it like that, pretty cool. I think Matt Howell one time found a what did he find? He found that soldier's ID tag. Remember that?
Well, it was a Civil War ID tag. It wasn't like a dog tag that we know about today. Totally different type of soldier's ID tag.
Yeah,
but did he?
It was a stencil, right? It was a stencil.
Correct.
Yeah, the bottom of the lake, about the bottom of the river.
Oh, that's right.
In that black water.
Yeah.
And it had name, had all kinds of information. I think it was the stencil they used to like paint on their gear and stuff. Like they would roll an ink blotter over it or some kind of paintbrush, and it would like put their name on their ammo box and everything else, So, man. But I got to know that guy too. Oh my gosh, like. And there was all these mysteries and stuff. The guy had 2 tombstones with different dates on it.
Yeah. No, there was a great story about that guy.
Yeah. But that's just it, man. I just love stories. You remember the can't say too much about it, but do you remember the headstone we discovered out in the places we were hunting out in the middle of nowhere?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Captain, Civil War captain.
Yeah.
Man.
More great stories, just to be able to do the research and obviously, well, I mean, not that we have really found anybody of huge significance in terms of American type history, but still, it's a person that had something to do with, in our example, had to do with Colorado history. Right.
I mean, that guy, he was a prisoner in Andersonville. He got shot at. I think he got shot like in Gettysburg or something like that, and he had injuries that plagued him the rest of his life, and he actually died because of complications from that old wound. I mean, he ended up dying in the 1880s, and out there in Colorado, and he was known. His wife was kind of known in the area, and he. When I did genealogy research, I actually found out that only they had a couple of family members out there that had done research on him and had any information on him at all. And one of them had a lot of information about him. And the one thing that neither one of them knew was his burial site.
Where he was buried at.
So,
well, that's because he was in the middle of nowhere.
He was in completely middle of nowhere.
And wasn't it kind of obviously it was handmade, but like not a normal type of headstone as well. It was pretty basically put together.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they misspelled his name a little bit. Well, actually, you know what? They had first it was Chaz. First name was Chaz, Chas. which was short for Charles, right? So
Mm-hmm.
his name was Charles. So I had to figure that out. I didn't really realize that until I did that research. But yeah, pretty cool. His kind of legacy died out, and he didn't really have any surviving family after a couple generations. So there's no one that I could find that was living. Even the guy that put a lot of information out there on the internet, I think when he did that, he was older and stuff. So wow, anytime you can do that, it's so cool, man.
It's those rabbit holes that you and I speak about so often. You take one small piece of information, um, and it just snowballs, which is fantastic. I'm not going to argue or complain about it. It is just we're in an age right now with computers and the information that's out there. If you can't find the information, you're not looking in the right spot, or it's out there. It's
Yeah,
absolutely out there. You just have to figure out how to find it. And
yeah.
you're a master at it. I tell you what.
I just enjoy it. I'm not a master at it, but I definitely enjoy it. I've been doing genealogy research for a long time, and it's amazing the information you can find on like ancestry.com and some of the other different sites. Like you can find a lot of information regarding metal detecting sites and stuff, and information, in the area. Just family history. Sometimes they put family history on there and letters that they sent home during the Civil War and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it's just even my own family. This one of my great great grandfathers or whatever I forget what state he was in now. It's been so long since I read about it, but yeah, he had two sons that were on different sides of the war. One was
Right.
on the north, one was on the south, and they both were writing home to him, and they were in desperate times. Him and the wife, they were starving. They were just starving. I think they were in the south, and they were just starving, and very desperate, talking about, so and so owes me money, and he was supposed to pay me, and it didn't come through, and we don't know what we're gonna do, and hope that you both are surviving, and blah blah blah. It just seemed really bleak, and then also talking politically about the times and what
Yeah.
people were feeling and stuff, and if this state would just secede, and it was just interesting to read that, knowing what was going on during that time. So
Well, those firsthand accounts that we hear about it in history classes. You read about it in the history books. You're taught certain things, but to get a single person's direct firsthand account of what's currently going on in that area that they're at, it's just incredible.
yeah,
Absolutely incredible.
yeah.
Love it.
Hey, did you hear what's going on next week?
Next week, the 25th of May.
Yeah, I think that's it. Isn't
No,
that a
that's
Thursday night?
Thursday night. Next Thursday night.
Yeah, I think, yeah, next Thursday night. Did you hear what's going on?
No. Tell me all about it.
Oh my gosh, next Thursday night. People are like, come on, guys.
Come on. What a
Yeah,
bunch of hams.
next Thursday night, you're going to want to be right here on Relics Radio. Tell you what, if you like relics, old relics, relics you might not be able to find here in the United States from quite a while ago, you're going to want to tune in next Thursday. We're going to be giving some away. We're having some guests on, callers calling in, all kinds of fun going on. You're not going to want to miss that interview. Just some great people coming on and joining us, and they're going to be talking about all kinds of things: metal detecting, relic hunting.
History.
Yep,
Lots of history.
big time history. And during that show, we're going to give away 4 prize packs. Prize packs filled with old relics that have been found by our guests that are joining us next Thursday. I've started to see the pictures, and it's pretty cool. Like, if you like relics, I know everyone likes finding relics, but yeah, if you collect them like we do and display them like we do, this would be a cool story for you to grab free relics from Relics Radio, donated by these wonderful guests of ours.
Incredible donations.
So stay
Actually,
tuned. Yeah.
I just did hear this just came across in a text. We're actually only giving 3 away. The 4th one I'm just gonna go ahead and commandeer for myself. So we're only giving 3, guys. Sorry, my bad.
Actually two. We're only gonna get two
Oh,
away.
wow. All right. All right. Only two.
We might get half of one away. No. Well, if we can pry it out of Tony's hand, maybe we'll give four away.
We'll
But
give four
definitely
away.
three. Here's the deal, though. You got to be here. You got to be present. So if you're listening on the remote and you're listening on the replay later, consider joining us live next Thursday night. If you've never joined us live, please consider it 8 p.m. Eastern, right down in the comments section. So if you're listening to this podcast later on and you don't listen live, just look right below the podcast and you will see a comment section, just like I'm looking at right now. And Jason Weir, good to see you. Detecting Addicts in there, Ohio Relic Hunter.
Nice.
Everyone's in here joining us. Even that claw hammer guy, what's his name? Let me
Yeah,
see.
what was that guy's name?
Garden Claw.
Garden Claw. Here I come to save the dig.
It's so funny.
Mr. Garden Claw.
But yeah, you're going to want to be here live and listening in. And you're going to want to listen closely. Like it's going to take you to listen to the show. We're going to be doing an interview, and you're going to be listening for certain nuggets, certain Easter eggs, certain things that are being said during the interview. And you won't know what they are. You're just going to have to join us and follow along, and it'll be a great night. And we're going to give away these amazing relics, the generosity of our guests. Starting Monday, we'll probably let you in on who our guests are and what kind of items are going to be given away. So you'll be able to see some pictures of them. You'll be able to get excited for them. And then Thursday, we'll tell you all about how you can win them. But we'll tell you need to be here live and you need to be listening close. So...
And if you're listening on the replay right now and you have never been over here to Spreaker.com, it's free to join. You just have to sign up for a free account. And then once you have a username and password, you can log in, search for Relics Radio. And there's links and everything in the description down below. But head over and then you can chat live with us. And you'll need to do that for you to be eligible to be able to win these incredible gift packages, I tell you.
Yeah.
So please, we would love to have you on live, just to even introduce yourself and just be part of the chat.
Yeah. People sending in relics is, we did this once before. We gave away some relics and it was a lot of fun, man.
It was a hit.
Yeah, it definitely was a hit. I know that with my metal detecting group, we have to put on hunts once a month for our members. The board members will put on hunts once a month. Even though I just stopped being a board member, I'm still in charge. I'm still a team leader for the heart group, so I still participate in the board meetings. But I was doing a hunt one time, and I thought, you know what? It'd be really cool if I kind of reached out to the community and said, "Hey, send me some of your relics. Some of the stuff you just find a lot of, I could use it and I can put it out there, and let people find it." And our local members here in Colorado and maybe don't find stuff in the, like 3-ringer bullets and stuff like that. We don't find a lot.
We don't find a lot of those.
Yeah. Send them over and, we'll put them in the ground. We'll do whatever. And man, I'm telling you what, people stepped up. This was a couple of years ago now. And people just loved it, man. They got little prize packs, little relic packs. I can remember all kinds of people contributed to that.
Community is incredible.
Yeah.
Extremely giving. Giving.
Yeah.
We're blessed for sure. But
Denny said he needs a relic. He goes, wait a minute, he is a relic.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're not giving Denny away.
Yeah. We're not going to give you away there, Denny. Hey, phone lines are open, though, if anyone wants to call in and join the show. We're not going to be on too late tonight. We're going to probably last another, I don't know, but if you want to call in the show, give us a call. We'll chat with you. 270-495-0315. 270-495-0315. If I see the call come in, we'll try to pick up on you. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. Tonight we've been kind of chatting about permission, relics, like all kinds of stuff, stories, those items that end up telling a story that you do the research. But the kind of research I love doing is for permissions and stuff, like finding old home sites and stuff.
I love that.
You do that. I know you do.
I love.
You think
that.
I'm a master at doing research? You're a master at doing research, man.
This is what I love. I love, as awkward as it is to some people, and it still is to me, going up and knocking on a door, introducing myself, and then just starting to talk about something I have a passion for, and then having somebody has that same passion, but doesn't know the history of their own land or what was even there. And generally, you and I are looking for places that are not where they currently live at. We're looking for people that have land, that have 40 acres, that have 160 acres. And we're like, hey, way over in that corner where those trees are that you never go over to, apparently over there used to be a homestead. There was a road that went through there, a driveway that went up to the homestead. Did you know anything about that? They're like, I had no clue. I mean, I've wandered over there and I found a piece of porcelain to a plate, and I didn't know where it came from. I'm like, well, yeah, that's because somebody used to live there 150 years ago.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you can see the wheels just start turning, and as they're looking at you, and they get that the inquisitive look on their face of, I wonder what you can find. Yeah, I'm not sure. Head over there, have fun. Go, dig as much dirt as you want with it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Hey, we got a caller with Tony and Ken. How you doing, Denny? Are you there, Denny?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, all right. Hey, how you doing?
I was typing a reply to Bill Hayes. He never gets on.
He never. Come on,
Never.
bro. Call us one of these times.
Yeah. Well, I got to agree with Tony about, and you, about finding sites. A friend of mine called me last week, and he wanted to know if I knew of a town that was close to him, and he gave me the name, and I went, well, yeah, it's right across the river from you. And I said, I think that's where the cemetery's at, and a church. And he said, you are right. I never thought of that. I went, well, I'll tell you what, I made him up a book of Ohio ghost towns in that county. And sure enough, there was the town he was looking for, plus a lot of others. And this guy's already got me so many good new sites to hunt, but now
That's
the fields
great.
are being planted, so our days are getting short here in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as well as elsewhere.
Sure.
But you know what ring finders do? They get in the water in the summertime.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They're smart. They're smart.
You got to diversify.
Yes. Yep.
And will I take the D2 in the water? No. I will take my tiger shark in the water. That's what I know, and that's what I'll use. But
What's your favorite kind of hunting, Denny? Is it in the rivers, or is it that those old towns that are now fields? What would you prefer to do?
My passion is one-room schoolhouses usually, and churches that aren't standing. And that's what I've always. I mean,
what's your run-room schoolhouse bucket list? Like when you go to you discover it, you do the research, you find out about it. You're like, this is the site. What do you hope to find when you're at a school site? Is there one item, one relic where you're like, oh yeah, if I find that, that's a win.
I don't know. You find rings out there. You find large cents in our area. You find large cents. You find seeded coins. I like tokens. I'm a big nut on tokens.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I found a token, actually, it's probably 20 miles away token. This site and this organization, they rented out buses. Now, I'm not talking about buses with motors. I'm talking about buses with horses. And I found this badge that was on the side of the horses that they had rented to this schoolhouse 20 miles away. And I posted a picture of it, and a guy got a hold of me right away, and he said, man, and I knew when he called, he was from the town where it came from. And he said, I'd love to have that token that you've got, that badge. And I said, well, you know what? I know that you have a book that you made on Ohio tokens, and I'd be glad to trade you that badge for one of those books. Oh, he says, I can't do that. Guess what? I still got the badge. So, but you know what? Probably someday I'll take it over and give it to the museum that's in that town. But I won't give it to him.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted that token book from Ohio. Ohio tokens. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be
But
cool.
he wouldn't budge. I went, you know what? I'll give it to somebody. I'll give it to the town. Heck with him.
There you go.
What is it about tokens?
And the neat thing about the token is where they got the museum is where it was at.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And now here's you probably never heard of this. They had horses, of course. They put the horses, this building was 3 stories high, and they put the horses upstairs, not down below. Why do you suppose they did that?
I would think for manure collection.
No, but you're close. The methane off of the manure, if it was downstairs, if somebody lit a match, the whole building would go kapooey. So they put it upstairs. They had a ramp made out of dirt, and that's how they got to the upstairs. That's where they had the horses at. Smart people.
Sense.
Yeah.
Smarter. Yeah.
That sounds great. Have you ever heard of this?
And the same thing on ships. The horses weren't down in the hole of the ship because of the methane. They put them up on deck or whatever, close to the top.
Sure.
Just because of that. Yeah.
Smart people.
Have you ever heard of this, Denny? Have you ever heard of? I was doing some research one time, and I was talking to some people on some forums about old home sites. And I was talking about this old home site I had discovered and kind of gotten permission for. And it was on like a dirt road. So it was kind of back in the sticks a little bit. But somebody told me this, and I'd never heard of it before. They said for coins, if you're looking to check across the street from the house, that the mailboxes used to be across the street. Because the mailbox would be right next to the house, and I was like searching all around it because I knew they used to put coins in mailboxes and stuff. But they would say, no, check across the dirt road. And I never even heard of that before. And I checked it didn't pan out for me on that house, but you've heard of that, huh?
A one-room schoolhouse that I've hunted forever and never found anything there. I was reading old stories from people back in this township, actually. And somebody wrote in there, we played across the road from that schoolhouse. I went, huh? And sure enough, there must have been a big oak tree over there or something, and that's where they played. They didn't play around the schoolhouse. It was out in the wide open. Heck with that. They went over there and had a picnic around the tree, and that's where they played. Gold mine.
Absolutely.
I'm always trying to out of the book.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to take out of the book.
Yeah.
Tony and I are always trying to figure that out. Where'd the kids
Where
play?
did they go?
You're looking at this wide open prairie. You're on this little hill. The house is right there. Like, where did they play?
Well, where would you go if you were out there during that time?
Trees.
Underneath a tree.
Water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Around water.
And if they had a little creek nearby, guaranteed they were in that creek.
Yes.
Water, playing, swimming, taking a bath, whatever. They were there.
Hey, that schoolhouse that you and I did recently, we didn't go down in the river area.
No, but that's...
we were near it, but we didn't go down into it.
Yeah.
Is that on her property, Tony?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
She's got hundreds of acres there, yes.
I got to come out now. I mean, you guys. I gave you the hint. I got to help you find this.
We'll give you the head start on the creek, man.
It probably was a one-room schoolhouse, as a matter of fact, as well. It was right around that same time, so
yeah,
pretty good idea.
In the 1700s in Washington D.C., they made Now this doesn't really hold true out west past the Mississippi, but on this side of on the east side of the Mississippi. A schoolhouse was built on Section 16 of each township.
You know what? You told me that.
It would go from 2 miles north, south, and east and west. There'd be another schoolhouse each way.
I never knew that until I heard that from you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to. Wow.
Now, I mean, I've got property down here that's in muckland, and I swore there was never a school there. Hey, guess what? I got GAIA GPS on my phone. It takes me to a one-room schoolhouse out in the swamp. I went, get out of here.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
you're a big fan of that, right? You're a big fan of that Gaia GPS, right?
Yeah. Then there was 12 houses on the same road. I went, get out of here. I mean, it's just been a gold mine.
Wow.
I was just out following the thing down the road, and I can't believe I finally found a school in this. And I called a guy who lived out there when he was a little boy, and he said, "Yep, I went to that school." And I didn't know there was one in Muckland. He said, "Yeah, there was one," and I found it. It's crazy.
Well, there you go.
Popular location too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure one out.
That's all I got for you guys.
Yeah. Hey, you got the 2, right? You got the D2. Did you download that update?
I did not. I heard a lot of things. There's some things on it I already like, but I didn't download it because of all the naysayers. And the bad thing about it, I just got my Deus in 2, and it had the 7 on it already. A lot of guys are running 6. But mine already had 7 on it. And I'm just trying to get used to it. And then 2 months later, they come out with another update. And I went, oh man, on my old Deus, the only update I ever put on was so I could use my that M16 pinpointer. I updated to use that. After that, I did no more updates because what I had was working great. And that's the way I feel on my new Deus 2. What I've got so far, I like. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go. There you go.
I do like on the general. I don't know if you guys seen them or not. On the general setting, when you turn it on, it goes to the large numbers. I like that part. Now, Gary over in France, he said, "Oh, all you got to do is just press these 2 buttons at the same time." Well, I got big fingers, and that don't work for me. I cannot do it. I tried both 2 fingers on it. I can't do it. So, there's got to be a better way. So actually, I'm thinking of making about a program on general with that on it, and then put it in one of my special programs, and then it'll automatically come up with large numbers. Period.
Yeah.
Right.
Heck with them.
Yeah. There you go. Well, hey, thanks for calling, Denny. We appreciate you calling in tonight.
Okay.
Thanks, Denny.
Yeah. No, that's right. Good.
Good night, guys.
Out there, buddy.
Good night, Denny. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. So he uses that guy at GPS.
Yeah.
You use OnX, right?
I use OnX. I love OnX. The reason I got it was actually not for metal detecting hunting, but for other kind of hunting, getting out there and doing small game or duck or big game, whatever kind of pew hunting I can get. It is very good for property lines.
Yeah.
Now, for metal detecting, it gives you the name and the address of the person that owns the property, plus the property lines.
Which is very handy.
Oh, I love
Especially if they're on site.
If they're on site, it's money. That's it. And I'll tell you, the last site that I got permission, we were just talking about it, I walked up and I used the guy's name right off of OnX. Said, are you so-and-so? And I forgot the guy's name. He's like, then you get the look. Yeah. How did you know that?
Money? Are you a bill collector? Do I owe you money?
But using first names, I mean, another little small tip in order to try and get those permissions, be as cordial as you can. Using, hey, are you James? Yeah. Or, hey, I'm looking for James. Hey, I'm James. Hey, my name's Tony. Right away already. You've already made that connection.
I'm your cousin. No. I'm your cousin on your mom's side. Yeah, that is a great tip, though, man. Use those first names. Kind of lets their guard down a little bit. Sometimes, and if they might be like, yeah, if you were to go, are you Mr. Smith? They'd be like, oh.
Right.
No.
Trust me, I would love to be cordial. I'm very, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Respectful. And I would, people that I don't know, I would absolutely use the Mr. Mrs. type of thing because I don't know them formally, But in these situations, you have to break. You're walking up blind to a stranger that generally lives out in the middle of nowhere. They don't see a lot of people coming up to their front door. Probably you got to try and break down that wall, that initial hesitancy, as quickly as possible to get right into what you're out there to try and do. So
yeah. I use that guy at GPS too. I downloaded that, and it's just like that on X. They're very similar and just very valuable tool for you to have. Here's a question for the audience about permissions, and you people in the chat, you can give me your suggestions. Tony and I, your suggestions. If you're listening on the replay, send us a message. Posted on the Facebook group, the Relics Radio Facebook group. If you're not a member of that, go over and check it out. All right. So you've got a target house. You know what we're talking about. This is a house you want to go up and you want to ask permission because there's a choice piece of property in an old historic home site, let's say on their property. And you looked it up on the maps, you looked it up on satellite stuff, and you get out there and you realize that the house you have to go up and knock the door at, it's probably like a $4 or $5 million home. It has a driveway that's probably a quarter mile long. It's a highly manicured driveway, rock landscaping, probably a helicopter pad somewhere. There's probably, like
there's
Kevin
a couple
Costner's house
Bentleys
or something.
Yeah.
Summer home or something. All right, go. What do you do on that? I mean, boy,
Now,
talk about intimidating. That's a little intimidating, for a country boy to go up there and be like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? First, you got to make it up the driveway.
Yeah, I'll have to take a break just to make it up the driveway.
Yeah.
I see why you're asking this question, by the way.
Do you?
I think I'm putting a couple things together here.
Yeah.
I've got a map.
Advice, man.
I've got a map that has this exact scenario. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag here, but I've got a map that this exact scenario that we really need to get on this property.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. I'll tell you, I in my prior line of work, I had to be very assertive with people. Sometimes it's just difficult for me to get up and talk to these strangers about, can I go on your property and dig holes?
Yeah.
And for some reason, this big, huge, monstrous $4 or $5 million house with I don't know how many hundred of acres is on there is intimidating to me.
Yeah.
It's intimidating.
It's just not like most of the places we approach,
Right.
You got to go with your gut. You kind of get a feeling. And, but boy, I like it, man. Matt Wall says, don't think about it, man. Just go ask. Think about it later on.
Right.
But just go ask. That's it. Yeah. This is one that Tony told me about. He showed me, we were out at a permission and he's like, that other place I was telling you about, it's right there. And I was like, oh, well, let's just go knock on the door right now. And we both kind of drove down there and he goes, I don't know, man. How do we approach that place? And I was like, gulp. I was like, I don't know either. We need to think about that, right?
There is something in our favor. I was just thinking about, right? Generally,
well, I gave you the advice. I told you what to do.
What's that?
Bring your wife out there.
Oh yeah.
Have her go out.
Is that the best advice for any person to get permission? Either use little dirt digger.
Yeah, you're right.
Or
little Emily
your
out
wife.
there to knock on the door. Right. Excuse me, sir. Do you have anything to eat? No. Yeah.
But here's what's in our advantage. Even though this house is extremely large, there's not a gate blocking off the driveway, which is the first obstacle that I generally run into on these larger permissions is there's a gate blocking you to even get to the house. There's not one.
It took you a year to get that school permission because of a gate.
Correct. So I will say that's in our advantage, at least for this one.
Yeah.
Which is positive.
Definitely drive up there. Yeah.
See, you're talking now. I'm ready. I just want to go do it right now. You've built it up now. You give me a whole bunch of gumption. I'm gonna go do it.
Should do it. Drop names, man. Drop names.
Absolutely.
You know that one guy.
That's another tip. Another tip. Oh my gosh.
The ranch right next door. You don't really know them yet, but you know the name of the ranch. And I would just throw that in there too. I'd be like, hey, Dave over here. Yeah. Hey, Dave, we've been hunting his property, blah, blah, blah. And the KL ranch right next to it. Yeah. We're going to go over there and, hit his property next. And I'm telling you what, you see some of the stuff we're finding, maybe take a box of, kind of more impressive finds, maybe even if it's not from that property, just to kind of say, here's the kind of stuff we're looking at, looking for. And, I think
that deal. Denny here in the chat, he wrote, I always have an extra plat map with me for that location. And after I ask about something on the guy's property, I show him what I'm looking for with the old map. I will second that for sure. Because I print out the maps, I print out the overlays, I print out the person that owns it, all the information, I put it together in a packet, and staple it together. And that's all the information that I need. Listen, this is what I see on the old map. It's located here on your property. This is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And people are amazed that you've done that much research and you've approached and knocked on their door.
What's our percentage, if you had to guess? I mean, back when Beth was hanging with us and going with us before she moved away to New Mexico, she was knocking it dead. But
she was money.
Yeah.
We did have that one day. I think we went like 0 for 5 or something. We could not get owner permission. But generally, I'll say we're pretty good. But there's certain kind of land that we target. And it's the locations that are not in the manicured, established, current housing area. They're off on their property at some location that they're like, yeah, I saw a foundation over there on the back 40 and I never knew what it was or the history of it. And then all of a sudden you can start talking about it and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, absolutely. What do I care? Go back there and dig. We did that with the Civil Conservation Corps. Remember, that was way back on their property. They knew about it, but they
knew about the flood that had come through there in the 30s and kind of wiped a bunch of stuff out. But yeah, they were all for letting us go. Just said, go for it,
Absolutely. Yeah. There's some great Ohio Relic Hunter says, I'd say call and set up a time to talk with the landowner, but it's easier for them to say no on the phone rather than person. I agree with that. I would much rather. I also think it's more difficult to get a phone number for the landowner. If I'm looking at on X.
If they list a phone number, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have to drive all over East Jesus.
Right.
But if the name and the physical address is on site, that's 100% a spot that I'll go to.
Yeah.
100%, because you need no more information that that person lives on that site.
Yeah, it's not a lost cause, but boy, when you see those owners that are either out of state or it belongs to an LLC or something like that, it lets you're just like, wah, wah, wah. I mean,
LLCs are my arch nemesis.
We've gotten permission, we've gotten permission remotely like that. It's not as easy or it's not as successful as if you can go up and knock on the door and talk to the people. That's always my preferred way too.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend time on their property. They want to know they can trust you. They want to kind of size you up. And vice versa. You want to see kind of if they're if they're amenable to what you're doing, and if they're really interested in the history, it's going to be a really good relationship because we're going to show them everything we find. We're going to welcome them to take whatever they want, and it's their property, and usually we do that or make some kind of other arrangement with them, and it works out pretty good.
Well,
but
I'll also say I really like to check back in before we leave with them, let them know what we found. We would like to come back, and then finally, and sometimes it sounds kind of corny, but I throw out this little statement of, I really want to let you know that we appreciate your generosity for letting us metal detect out here. Without you landowners giving us permission, we can't do this hobby that we love so much.
Yeah.
And it just shows how much I respect them and their property. And I think it just kind of hits home.
Denny Morrison calling twice in the same show.
Well, he didn't call last week.
Say double header. Double header with Denny. All right.
Well, I gotta say, the other day I was out someplace selling chicken barbecue tickets for my American Legion for Memorial Day. And I look over in this field, I went, there was a house out there in that field. You could see rocks on the top of a hill. So then I start checking find out who the landowner is, and I find the landowner. He's like 6 miles away. So I go to his house and talk to him, and I tell him where I'm looking for, and he said, yeah, I farm that ground. I said, well, I don't know the owner, and he said, don't worry about the owner. He's in California, and I farm it. You got my permission. He said, oh, by the way, while you're hunting there, I got another one for you. Right? See that big tower down the road? I said, yeah. He said, way back in the field, there's a house site on top of the hill, and you're welcome to hunt it anytime you want it.
Wow.
It's like, are you
Bingo
kidding me?
Twice.
Love it.
I know. Is that crazy?
That is so crazy.
Great story.
I love it. I love that story.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That's the kind of ones I like. And he's a really nice guy. He said, I got more places too. You go there and you hunt that one. Well, he's getting ready to plant it. And I went, you know what? It's going to be in beans this year. I'll be back next fall.
Yeah.
He said, you're on. He said, you're welcome to hunt it anytime you want.
You know what else you can probably do? And Copper Joe, well, you're on the phone too. Welcome. I'll get to you in just a second. But how about trying to meet or associate with a land surveyor? These guys go out, boy, and they learn who these landowners are, and they get to know them. Are you a surveyor? Oh, yeah, you're the surveyor.
I'm the surveyor because guys know I metal detect, and they want me to find their pins. I probably told you the story. A guy wanted me to find his pins for him. He wanted to build a house, so I found 2 of them out in the field, but the other 2 were in the road. And I told him, I said, if we dig down right here, you'll find your pin. So he dug down. He said, that's a nail. That's not a pin. I said, I'm telling you, it had a number on it. I said, that is your pin. 2 months later, he calls me. I said, the pin in the road was your survey pin, wasn't it? He said, yes, it was. And I can't tell you how much I paid a surveyor to find that.
Come out, tell him
the same
you
pin.
Told him.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
But one nice guy that he builds houses all the time, and he always calls me to find the property stakes. He always gives me $75 every time I find them. So I mean, it's not the 200 or 300 a surveyor gets, but hey, I take my wife out for dinner, so that's good.
We're gonna change your name to Pin Finder.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. One time I had 3 of them. I couldn't find the other, and I told the guy, I said, it's under your combine. He said, no, it ain't. I said, when you move your combine, you're going to see it. And sure enough, I saw him uptown. He said, hey, Denny, move my combine. There was that damn pin.
When are they going to start trusting you, Denny? Darn it.
I know.
I'll get off and let the other guy on.
All right, man. Sound good. Hey, Copper Joe, you're on. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, we're just having fun, just chatting tonight.
Yeah. Talking. Yeah. It's kind of interesting what Denny was saying because I've done a couple surveys like that for people and found their pins. So yeah, it's always a challenge though. It's a challenge. You gotta know where to look, and then and in certain properties you only got like it's going to be even mark, like 150 yards out, and so generally, but
we've never been asked with all the permissions that we've gotten on properties and stuff. We've never been asked. Let me ask you something, Joe. Like the permissions you get to go hunt for relics.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of the time that somebody who owns the property actually wants something that you found?
Ooh.
High percentage or low percentage? It's low for us, right?
To me, low percentage. In fact, there's one field I want to get at that a guy says, yeah, you can go in there, but just tell me what you found. And I don't know if he wants anything, but he just told me, tell me what you find. So
I think people are generally curious right away when they first get approached. What could you find on my property? So they're interested, and even if they think it's nothing, to us, just finding that history, it is incredible for us.
Yeah, there was a property pretty close to me right out of town. Actually, it's so close, because I live right in a small town, but it's just out of town. So it's like conveniently close, so I can just drive over there in a minute, a couple of minutes. And the guy lets me on there, and he says, well, I don't care if you do the field. I don't know what you're going to find, though.
Right. Right.
He's like, I don't know what you're going to find. You probably ain't going to find much, Well, I found a lot of iron. Haven't done real good over there. So the thing is, what I was going to say is, like, a lot of these places, like, I don't know how it is in Colorado, but like in, up in the Midwest here, there's fields after fields after fields after fields. I mean, you can drive down a major highway and there are just fields all over the place. The thing is, you got to find the fields that are going to produce,
Sure.
There's a lot of fields out there, and, a lot of them ain't going to produce anything,
Right.
So you're kind of going on a whim, but I guess.
Hey, Joe.
So I guess what I found,
Hey, we got another caller on. Actually, has a question for you.
Sorry.
Tim Ildigger is on with us. Tim, welcome to the show.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tim.
So Joe, I got a question for you. I'm glad you called in. So I was invited up to Wisconsin 2 weekends ago to a farm where a buddy found a copper spear point. So we went up there, and the following weekend I found a copper awl.
Okay.
It's damaged pretty bad. Have you ever tried repairing any of those copper culture artifacts?
Straightening them? Yes, I have. In fact, that's a good question. One of the highlights from the collection I found an 8-inch spear point. And when I found this spear point, it was kind of interesting because the handle, it was a socketed spear point, but the handle was bent up. And I thought it was a harpoon end at first. I thought it was a harpoon end, Well, what happened was I ended up, when I got it, I actually could literally, because copper is pliable, and I don't suggest you got to be very careful on doing this, but I was able to bend it right back to almost normal, But
Were you terrified?
It was, I was a little terrified, but I knew because it wasn't that damaged. But I did find a knife that was probably hit with the plow in the middle, so it was bent up, and it's a two-way knife, but it was bent up both ways. And I can only repair it to a certain point because it's still got that bend in it. There's just no way I can get out, no way I can get through it. It's just hit that hard. But yeah, I have tried repairing them.
You ever try using any heat or anything like that, hot water or?
Yes, I did. With that knife, I tried heating it up to a boiling point and flattening it out, and I couldn't. It's still to the point where it's still got a bend in it. But you want to be careful with that too because it'll ruin some of the, the part, the history of it. You got to be careful with that.
The patina, it will take the patina off of it.
Yeah, it will. To some extent, a little bit. Yeah. So how big was the awl?
I should have measured it. It's I'm going to say roughly 4 inches, maybe 4.5. It's bent in two spots, so it looks like a set of stairs, like the letter S in KISS.
Yeah. It's got a big step in it in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But
so it's got two 90-degree bends in it. I'm just in one of those 90-degree bends. It almost looks like it's cracked. So
so you got to be real careful. Yeah.
I'm real hesitant to do anything to it, but
my suggestion is not to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to break it, and definitely it's pliable. But my suggestion is that what I do is I find some that are bent like that. I'm real careful on how I handle it, and that's what I would do. I would just leave it. But there is some purposely made that way too. They're purposely made that had bends in them. And the reason why is because they use them for tools and stuff, and they were able to use them for handles and stuff. So. That could be too, or it was just purposely made that way.
Probably a toothpick or something.
Ear cleaner.
Yeah, there you go.
Funny.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't a straight awl because sometimes you find them just straight. I find a lot of my awls straight, but some are just perfectly bent. You think, wow, this is like a tool, but that's the way they made it, So
that's kind of what I was thinking. One of the bends looks almost like it was purposely bent that way.
Purposely made that way, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I have some just like that too. I wish I could see the picture of it, but that's.
I'm gonna post it on my Instagram page tonight.
Tim, is that the first copper culture item you found, Tim?
Yeah, it is.
Were you ecstatic or what?
Yeah, because. Here, get this. So Jeff invites us up there. The weekend before, he had Rob the history digger out there, and Jeff found that spear point. But Jeff goes, "You ain't gonna believe the luck we got." I go, "What?" He goes, "The best landlord I've ever." He goes, "You offered a grill-less lunch and everything." He goes, "But he's in the long-range, high-powered rifle." I go, "Oh no." He goes, "Yeah, there's copper jacketed bullets everywhere." So there's copper scattered all over the field, and he goes, that spear point sounded just like another bullet.
Mm.
And
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
so I was going along
See-
on bullet like 7 or 8. I was only there about 45 minutes, and this one came in like 2 numbers higher on the scale, like an 87 rather than an 85.
Yeah.
On my day is 2, and I was like, well, this sounds a little bit bigger. It must be a bigger bullet. And I dug it up. I was like, ooh, that's not
Yeah.
a bullet.
Incredible.
Yeah. And you know what's
Yeah.
incredible? All of a sudden, you're just going to all of a sudden hit one, and it's just going to come up, and it's amazing. I was with my cousin in one field, and I guess I told the story before, but I found a nail in the hole because I had an iron signal, pulled it out, had another nail in the hole, pulled it out, still had a signal, pulled it out, and it was a copper awl
Yeah.
amongst 2
Wow.
nails. It was just,
Mm.
you know, so you never know. But so the
Yeah.
point that he found, the spear point that he found, was it socketed, or was it a conical, or maybe you don't know the difference?
I
Was it a-
believe he says it's socketed.
Socketed, huh? Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
nice one, or no? Yeah. What was it,
Yeah,
about 4 inches, or?
Yeah, probably about that. With the
Yeah.
tang and everything, it may have been a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
With
Cool.
with the
Yeah, put a
part,
picture up,
yeah,
Tim. We want to check it
Yeah,
out.
love to
Put a
see
picture
it
up later.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on my Instagram page tonight. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you called in, Joe. I'm gonna let these guys shut her down for the night. And
Yeah.
thanks
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
your thoughts.
I just want to say, if you find 1 or 2 pieces, go back there and just keep hitting it, because you're going to find multiple. You're going to find more. That's just the way it's going to be.
I'm sure he'll invite us back up there.
Awesome, man.
Now, I would invite me. I want to go to, no. Yeah, so that's cool, though. So was that in southern Wisconsin, or was that in, I don't want to,
Yeah, what's the GPS coordinates? That
Yeah.
Go slow. I'm writing this down.
I would say central Wisconsin or southeast
Oh, yeah.
Wisconsin. Something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, that's great. So, yep,
Yeah.
keep it up.
Yep.
That's good.
Thanks
Love
for
it.
your
Tim,
thoughts. Have a good
yeah, thanks for
Thanks,
calling in,
Tim.
Tim. Hey, make sure you tune in next week. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I heard about that. It sounds exciting. I'll definitely be tuning in.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
See ya. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool, Joe.
great.
Right? Like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can probably
that's great.
relate to how excited he probably was first time finding.
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I can imagine that'd be great. I mean, every time I find a piece, I just love it. You know, it's something special to me, to find them. But yeah, so yeah, these farm fields, that's great, and there's so many of them. What I was going to say is, if I find an area that's got a lot of history around it, I try to find neighboring areas very close that farmers have,
Sure.
and just work around that area, because you're going to find stuff in one field, you're going to probably find stuff in another. So
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good point for sure. Hey, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna go ahead and shut her down
Okay.
tonight. But thank you for
Yeah.
calling in, Joe.
Thanks,
yeah,
Joe.
we'll see you guys in a few weeks.
Yeah,
4
man.
weeks or
Can't
so.
wait. Can't wait. It's
Yeah.
coming up real
Okay,
quick.
we'll talk to you later.
All right,
Yep,
buddy.
talk to you later. Bye bye.
Yeah, he's gonna join us at Rush of the Rockies. Copper
I
Joe
can't
is.
wait. Yeah, I can't wait
Yeah.
to meet Joe and just spend the whole weekend with him.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Definitely fun. Well, hey, what else you got, man? We covered a lot of different ground tonight.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
Next week's gonna be fun.
I was just thinking that want to remind everybody to make sure that to be here right away next week, right when we come on. We promise we won't be late next week. But yeah, make sure that you're on next week. Listen to Relics Radio here live, and listen real closely to the interviews. And if you want a really, really good chance at winning some incredible prizes, some old historical prizes and relics, that you probably will never have another opportunity to even hold, let alone own. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome. And definitely check out Relics Radio on Facebook. We'll be posting pictures, just kind of building it up. It's gonna be kind of a week-long kind of thing of building up to that show next week, because we're pretty darn excited about our guests.
Yep, great. Anything to add to that? It's perfect, man. Just pay attention on that Facebook thing. Also, probably on Tony and I's personal Facebook pages. That's the best way we have to post things. Where else are we going to post stuff? So,
Yep.
Facebook's, good or bad, whatever you think about it, does help in some aspects like that. But pay attention to that Facebook Relics Radio Facebook group, or Tony's personal one. What else you got, Tony? Anything?
No, I think it was a great show. I enjoyed speaking with you, and thanks to Copper Joe calling in, Denny D2. We'll call him
twice.
D2. Denny twice.
D2. Denny twice.
See, he lived up to his
Mr. Pin Finder.
Pin Finder.
Pin
Yeah.
Finder
No,
D2.
thanks for calling in, guys. We appreciate it. It's nice to have the interaction.
Right. Absolutely. Everyone have a great week. Next week, you'll be seeing us talk a lot about it on the way up to it. I'll probably release another podcast here just to let people know that are downloading the show what's going on. If they don't hear this one, maybe they'll catch this next announcement. But have a great week. If you get out this weekend, go find the good stuff and let us know about it for sure. Let's go. Have a good night.